Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're going to dive into demos for this week's whiteboard session. Demos are obviously a pretty tried and true way for CPG brands to drive velocity, support their retail accounts, and get in front of everyday shoppers and understand what their feelings are on the product, get real-time feedback. But I think a lot of times, as someone who's done hundreds of demos for multiple brands, I think there's better ways that they can kind of be approached. And there's a few key things to really make sure that post demo, you're seeing that ROI and you're really using the demo as a customer acquisition event, which at the end of the day, it should always be viewed as. So let's talk about kind of how to set up your demo first. This is going to sound very rudimentary, but products should always go up front. So your packaged product goes up front, samples go in the back. The reason for that is this is not a passing demo. A passing demo might be where you just have samples on the counter. Customers can come, take it, and walk away. You want to have that customer interaction, right? You're trying to sell them. You're trying to tell them your story. You don't want that customer just coming by, grabbing a sample, and heading the other direction. So make a barricade of all of your packaged product. Get that up in front. Get the samples behind. Give your pitch. Give your spiel, and then give the sample, right? You're going to increase your conversion rate for that sale. You're going to be able to tell your full story, and you're going to also reduce the amount of samples that you're giving out to customers who are not going to buy the products at the end of the day. So I know that's super simple, but I want to start there because there's so many times I walk past a demo and I get super frustrated that's just not set up correctly. Let's talk about who's doing the demo. It should always be an internal rep when it can be, right? I think in that first year or two, super important for the owner, the co-founders to do the demos. You want to be having those interactions with those customers. You want to understand how they're interacting with the product. You want to be taking in that feedback. You want to be documenting all that feedback. And I think a lot of times you want to make sure you're not just getting a high from the positive feedback, which a lot of times I see founders still in year 3, 4, 5 doing demos because they love that feedback, right? That feedback loop, as valuable as it can be, it can also be a really tough spiral to break. And I think you want to have a set time period where it's like, okay, this is when I'm going to get demos off my plate as the founder and get it to an internal rep who can be a sales rep, a territory rep, a field sales manager, whoever. But internal reps are going to always represent your brand the best, understand the pitch, understand the story, and have your best intentions in mind when they're running the demo. If you have to use a third-party rep, I've always had the most success finding reps that employ actors, right? Actors are always looking for side jobs, side gigs. They're very passionate when they're talking about the brand. They can represent your brand in the right way. The one thing you don't want to do with third parties is use the third-party program that the retailer provides. A lot of times you'll see in a trade spend kind of menu demos for the retailer that they supply. One, they're usually probably pretty expensive. Two, it's going to be somebody who works at the store who's just like checking off a box and doing that demo and just handing off the product, right? You want to make sure it's somebody who resonates with your brand. And if you find a third party, make sure you vet them, make sure they have people that are going to represent your brand and be able to tell that story in a passionate way that you want it to be told, like you were the one doing the demo yourself. Now let's get into the meat of this. Demos are customer acquisition events. Like point blank, that is the purpose of a demo. You want to acquire that customer. Now, that doesn't just mean converting them into the sale. You want to get their information, their email, their phone number, so you can continue to nurture that customer after the demo, after that first purchase, and that you can drive lifetime value with that customer. So I would say have a QR code. That QR code can lead to a Google form. It can lead to a digital rebate where that customer gets future deals. It can lead to a survey where you're getting their email, their phone number. You just want to have a customer acquisition strategy based off of a QR code where you're getting that customer's information and you can follow up with them after the demo. This is not just about driving a one-time sale. You never want to look at a demo in a vacuum and see, hey, was it successful? How many units did I sell? Yes or no? You want to say, hey, how many customers did I acquire? How many emails did I get? How many phone numbers did I get? And also how many sales did I do? And you want to look at the event in a totality of how many customers you acquired during that demo. And so I think a lot of newer brands, digitally savvy brands are looking at demos like that and really viewing it as a customer acquisition event, which is going to make the most impact for your brand. The last thing is an ROI postmortem. Demos are not the right thing for every brand. There are some brands that I've talked to that have never ran a demo. and that's perfectly fine. I think a lot of times, a lot of brands are quick to throw like, hey, why don't you run demos? Or demos have been great for us. And it might not be the right strategy for your brand. I think if you want to incorporate demos, you run it in a small subset, you look at and do a postmortem, see if the ROI was there, look at the cost structure. I mean, a lot of times demos are very expensive, and it's expensive to find good help. It's expensive to support with all the product, and it might not be the best ROI for you. So make sure that if you are running demos, you're looking at it critically after, seeing what the benefit was, and seeing if those trade spend dollars could actually be applied somewhere else more effectively. All right, let me know what's been effective for you at demos. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know how you're running demos and what's been successful for you. And we'll be back in a few weeks with another whiteboard session. Thank you so much.